Hello, everybody, and good morning. It's a rainy day. I'm hard at work here at my local dive bar. Just got here, and because it is a rainy day, it's already getting crowded in here. Nothing to do, so people are coming in to have themselves a drink. Actually, it's funny is that there's not even a TV on, and like 2 TVs are on out of like the 10 TVs, but yet see people are still wandering all in. Happy birthday to Shane Davis. He had his birthday was yesterday. Apparently, I know the Ballers had a birthday stream for him last night. I didn't watch it. I was watching other shows. Was getting tied up in legal vices with the trial that he was watching. Here it's supposed to be like a preliminary hearing, and the defense was dropping a bombshell, basically wanting to like the entire prosecutor's office has been involved in some shenanigans and how withholding information from the case, and the judge got pissed, and the prosecutor who prosecuted the original case, she wasn't there, and he was like, we're taking a recess. When I come back, she's going to be standing in front of me. The recess wasn't even more than 5 minutes, and she was standing there in front of the judge. She was not happy, and the judge was not happy. Pretty much it comes down to is that they withheld evidence, or the lead detective flat out saying that he would pretty much lie under oath to get a conviction. And it's involving it takes place in Florida. I think it's Broward County, and it involves a young rapper, and it involves a murder case. He's accused of murdering someone. And the biggest thing is, remember, even if you're like, oh my God, that's horrible, he deserves the death penalty. Remember, you still have to do it correctly. There are rules that the prosecution's office has to abide by, and they weren't abiding by those rules. So it is a bombshell of a case. It looks like it's definitely going to be going to retrial, and if it goes to retrial, pretty much almost most of the evidence the prosecution has to be thrown out. So it is a wild case. So I was watching that on Legal Vices. I just could not step away from it. And he is so engaging with his commentary on it as it happens. And as the evidence is produced, he's like, holy shit. And this is what it is. A lot of times when these guys do these cases, if it's live, they just let it go, and they just comment as they go along. He was actually hitting pause and explaining stuff, so that's how he was like so much, how wild the case is to fully explain everything. So I was watching that instead of Shane's birthday celebration, but happy birthday, Shane. Make sure you check out his Accent campaign. I'll have it pinned in the comments. Or I should say I'll have it listed in the comments. So Dan Frag was doing his Fragtober. He did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin is what he did. I didn't watch that either. I just saw he posted it on social media, so I saw it last night and today. Saw a couple people also posting their image of The Last Ronin. They were drawing along with Dan Fraga, even like on their own. They weren't on his show, and that's what really makes Dan Fraga's show so good, is because he's just drawing and talking, kind of like how I am. But he gets you to that you will sit at home and draw along with him as if you were in a studio with him drawing. So he produces a great show when he does his Fragtober shows. So, also we have Graham Nolan's 31 Days of Monsters. Today he did The Duel. He does a very good job of. He plays the trailer of the movie that he's going to be reviewing. He then talks about the episode, and then he goes into the chat and comments on what people are saying and interacts with them. And where Graham is at his best is when the audience is engaging him on the movie and gets him to open up and provide even more insight and details that he's discovering doing research on the movie. He does it every single year, and I encourage anybody who is a fan of sci-fi and horror to check out his 31 Days of Monsters. So, back on track, Sean Shen was on the Pop XP this week. It was a great show, great chance to give him some highlights so he can help promote his crowdfunded book, Evermind. I'm really looking forward to seeing Sean next year. I'm hoping he's going to have like new banners at his booth, helping promote his book. I'd like to give a personal thank out. So, Niles, if you are watching this video, give a thanks or forward this thanks over to Kara. Kara, thank you very much for mentioning my comment about his own produced book, Wingman, and getting him to open up about it. I think it's really important to get these creators to not just talk about their current campaign, but other things that they've done that are outside the mainstream. And he really got him to open up about how Wingman came about and how he pretty much just did it on his own for fun, and it resulted in him publishing it as his own book. So it's a really good, I really thank you very much, Carol. So I'm still working on this Star Wars piece. In case anybody's wondering, okay, this is a piece I'm doing for fun. I'm doing it while I'm making my videos, because I'm at the point with Scat Investigators that I don't want you guys to see the pages. I don't want you to see what's happening. You've been seeing pages in my past videos, and we're at the point now where I don't want to give anything away yet. I don't want to give away what the monster is. I don't want to give away other things about the book. So as a result, I have to create a piece just for these videos. So that's why I have this piece. This is a Star Wars piece that I'm doing. Let me pull that. So this is a Star Wars piece. These are all like the side characters or one-off characters for the original Star Wars Marvel comic book. These are all the characters that showed up between the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. A lot of these characters only showed up for like an issue, maybe two. So for instance, this is Daryl Anglethorne. She was only in one issue of Star Wars. Same thing with Ellie. She was only in one issue of Star Wars. They're just one-off characters, okay? Whereas these guys were in multiple issues, and not just multiple issues in Empire. They did come back during after Return of the Jedi to be in it. So, and how I come about drawing this is, what I do is I will just take random images of people. Like I'll pull out a DVD out of my collection and look at the cover, and I'll be like, oh, that just draw that face, and then take that face and then manipulate it into whatever it is. So, for instance, this is the actress who played Lois Lane in Smallville. I just took the little flip book that they used to put in DVDs, I just pulled out the flip book, flipped around, and I like that face. Just put it in and then change it around is what I need to. So it has Daryl's face. This here was the Imperial commander of the Empire's largest fleet between Empire and Return of the Jedi. And I worked him up, and how I came up with this face was I wanted he's a heavy set individual. So what it is, I needed a face. So I just put into my Google and so I put fat baseball managers. And I got this image here. So I printed this off. I don't know who this guy is. He's just a fat baseball manager. And he's got and so I got it and I have him right next to it. See how I have him? So I just use this as reference. And by printing it off, it gives you the ability to go in and do some pencil lines on the actual image yourself. So that way you get a feel for when you do that image, it helps you for doing it. And I'm just doing this. This is an exercise I do for myself. It helps me so that way when I'm doing my own character, when I'm doing Mac or Bob, okay, it'll help me with doing the shadowing, lighting on these guys because I'm doing this. Remember how like Howard Chaykin would said how save that stuff, save your experimentation for your sketchbook because you don't have time when you're working on pages. That's what this is. This, even though I'm doing this on comic book board, this is essentially a page from my sketchbook, and I'm doing this so I can experimentation, just studying to see how stuff's done. So that way when I go in and I do it, it'll make it much easier. And I don't have to reference as much, or I can get reference but then manipulate that reference. So that's why I'm doing why the images look the way they do. It's kind of like almost like a poor man's movie poster or promotional image. Like I said, I'm just doing it for myself. It's like I said, it's almost as if I'm working or practicing in my sketchbook. Only it's sharing. I'm pulling back the curtain for you guys to see. And when I do my time-lapse video, remember I showed you that girl, Daryl Anglethorne? She's the one I'm going to be working on for today's video. She was only in one episode or one issue of Star Wars. She debuted and was in issue 66. She was on a arid planet. Luke was hiding from the Imperials, and he had to land and hide on this planet. And so he went into town, got into a scuffle with some of the local ruffians, and she liked how he handled the ruffians and the bandits. And here what it was is there were bandits on this planet. Sorry about that, guys. There were bandits on this planet stealing the water, and they're hoarding it in big tanks. Luke and Daryl discovered that the water was sentient. What it was, there was this gaseous entity, and they were trapped in the water tanks. And Daryl had a case, and it was an instance where to save her and Luke, and she was being told by this gaseous entity with Luke advocating to shoot the tanks. And she was like, no, but we need the water. Water's important here. And Luke's kind of like, have faith in the Force. Shoot the tanks. She shoots the tanks. And they burst open like a dam does and buries the bandits. And what ends up happening is thank you, the alien gaseous creatures seed the clouds. And so at the end of the comic, there's rain coming down on the planet for the first time in like millennia, centuries. So that's how the issue ended. And like I said, she was a one-off character. So now apparently, according to Wikipedia, she was used for follow-up stories. I don't know how true this is. I'm going to assume it's true. But I don't know that story. That's the reason why I'm not going to really dive into it. If someone who's read that story wants to tell me about it in the comments or reference where I can find that story, let me know. I'd love to. If it's a good story, I'll check it out and read it. I think it also involves Miles. So yeah, I'm just having fun. What I'm doing right now for doing this side of this face is I flipped my nib over, and that's the reason why the dots are so fine. So whereas like the dots here are bold, or even in the hand I was doing in the beginning of this video, the dots are bold. These are very fine, almost like I'm airbrushing the dots onto the page. It's because I flipped the nib over and it's a very fine dot. I've had some people criticize that it won't pick up in printing. I've had cards, I've had of my stuff done this way. I've had cards, I've had prints made up, and with printing technology, it stands up. You can still read it, see it very clearly. So, but another thing also I'm doing with this piece is you'll notice how I've got straight blacks. If you look at my other pages when I was working on scat investigators, there's no such thing as a scat as a straight black. I'll just stipple the hell out of that area, and I'll even switch to a calligraphy nib like a B6, so it has that straight black look to it, but it's not a straight black. And so by experimenting with this page, I can now decide, do I want to do it that way? I can then see how it looks and then decide, do I want to have straight black or just keep stippling it? So when this is all done, I'll take a look at it. And plus also what I can do is I can experiment with how I'm going to be doing, this is what I'm going to do is have like all the black areas bleed into space. So I have stars. So it'll give me a means to experiment whether I'm going to just dot with a whiteout pen, whether I'm going to do a toothbrush and spatter it. We'll find out. So, but it's like I said, it's all how you. That's why I'm doing it this way, so I can experiment. So, but yeah, I would definitely advise everybody this month to check out Graham's 31 Days of Monsters. He does it every single day. Now, says he's got a procedure this month, a medical procedure, so he's going to have about 10 episodes that are going to be pre-recorded. So, but still, they will be shorter, they won't be longer, in fact, they'll probably be like 10 minutes at tops. Whereas he can, with the comments coming from the chat, he can take a review of one of these movies, and he can stretch it out to about 20 minutes, about the length of this video. But he's not going to be able to do that, so I'll be curious. So still, check them out. Most everything that he streams for movies that he's reviewing are available on various platforms. That really, it's reached the point with the Google search engines that when he says, okay, here is the movie, all you gotta do is Google it, and it will pop up and tell you what streaming platform it's on. So, yeah, so that's one of the nice things about working in a public area is you have the background noise, so sometimes you get profanity, which happens when you leave your house. and enter into the real world. So now another thing also with this is I can take a look here is, see I'm going thick to thin. Okay, so thick, thick, thin, thin. And now what I can do is I can look at, okay, let's add some shade to this. Let's add some tone to this. So we'll add some tone in here. Just add a few dots. All you gotta do is just, and see how I'm not going all the way up. Just add a little bit of tone, and it adds some dimension to this ruby. And if you know this character, this is pivotal to the issue 50 and to, let's see, it's pivotal to issue 50 and it was pivotal to issue 65. Yeah, 65 of the comic book. So, and then of course, I'm realizing as I'm doing this that this here, this, see how I just stopped it? Almost like this was gonna be black. That's not the case. This is black, this is black, that needs, we gotta put some dots in there, we gotta put some hair in there. So, put some hair in a man's chest, put some hair in a woman's head. So, just go in. And see, here's where I go in. I'll just, okay, let's see here. Thick and thin. Close together. Farther apart. Far apart. Close together. Merge it together. That's what hair does. And what I'm doing is I'm helping to emphasize that curve of her hair. Then we go the outside here. You want them really close, you want them really tight together, because the other side's going to be black. So you just go in, thick dots. Okay, so again, we got some here. Let's just, let's go like this. We don't gotta put a lot in, we just gotta do enough to imply that there's hair there. Your brain will put in the rest of the, will fill in the rest of that information. And then again, flip it over, nib's running low. And that's another thing, the reason why I discovered this was the nib was running low in ink, but I didn't want to waste the ink. So being cheap is what how I discovered how to get this nice wispy dots in here. So you have this nice tone forming the face of her. Because a lot of artists these days, they'll do like the bare essential. They'll just do how I did: eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth, and they won't put anything in. And then they'll just rely on the colorist to create the form of the face. And that way, if it turns out bad, they say, well, that's the colorist's fault. I like to put in a nice, almost like a zipper tone screen to add some dimension to the face. And that way, especially with women, you want to add as few hard lines as possible. You want the stuff to be as faded as possible so that women maintain those soft features. That's a big thing also, is if you take a look at how I'm doing her with the tone, how I'm doing it nice and soft, whereas here it's harder. There's harder lines because it's a guy. It's going to have harder features. So, but no, that's how it's going. Remember, after I get done with this video and after I've uploaded, I will start working on this. So she is today's stippling short video. I hope you'll watch it. I hope you will comment it and share. Because remember, liking a show, subscribing, commenting, and sharing help out immensely. I have been trying my best when people comment on my videos, whether it be the live or the short, to comment on it and respond to your comments, whether it's just a comment or a question. So, everybody, have a great day, and remember, life is stressful. That's why you take it all one dot at a time.